is the part I was looking forward to the most.
we know. Well, Justin, congratulations. I thought you had a great post-fight speech where you talked about just how much you appreciate the life you live and the opportunity. But can you put into words what it means to have that gold belt again, to be at the top of the sport?
Not yet. Not right now. I mean, it's so hard to I haven't stopped since I got out of that cage. They've been running me around. Thank God I have Knobs because she is the fastest caretaker the UFC has. So I call her a handler. She's handling me well.
I love it. Listen, all leading up to this, you never downplayed how tough you thought Patty would be, right? But surely you never thought it was going to be like that. I mean, did you envision a scenario where he goes toe-to-toe and has a Justin Gaethje fight with Justin Gaethje?
Yeah, I did. I mean, that was his only choice. And I knew he wasn't going to quit. He's not a quitter. I've never seen him quit, never seen him give up. And luckily, I found some success early. You know, like I said, I was going to have to steal some momentum, and he was very confident, and I had to take that early. And, you know, the moment I stepped in there, he didn't take his eyes off me. That was me not too long ago. And I guess I was Eddie Alvarez here to teach him a lesson. Yeah. Same thing he did to me.
He did try a couple takedown attempts, a couple foot sweeps in the clinch, things like that. I mean, so he did attempt to get the fight to the ground. But did you expect him, or were you the whole time, were you expecting him to pivot his strategy and just, like, sell out for the takedown and try to get you down?
Yeah, I mean, but I deserve some credit for stopping that from happening. I mean, there's no doubt he wanted to get it there. But half of wrestling is stopping people from taking you down, and that's what I was best at. And so luckily I was successful tonight from keeping him there. I thought I grappled well. I was in his guard, in his guard a little bit, past his guard, landed some huge shots. Pretty sure I sliced his face open with a couple elbows. Felt amazing. So yeah, like I said before, since Oliveira choked me out, I've been putting a lot of work in, and it sucks that it's part of the sport, but I have to do it.
Yeah. I thought it was great that you gave him some credit to his tagline that Scousers don't get knocked out. But, I mean, as you're hurting him multiple times over there, like, do you start to get frustrated at all, or, like, what do I got to do here?
No. I just got to stay in it. You know, my coaches do a good job at keeping me focused and keeping me in the fight. But I've been here. I've done it too many times to try to think that it's over or he's quitting. I knew, I could feel that this guy was trying to hurt me the whole time. And if I took my foot off the pedal for a second, he was on my ass. And he did a good job up to the last second. I really wanted to finish him, but I loved teaching him a lot. He said my face was not going to look the same after the fight, and his would look the exact same. So as soon as it was over, I was like, well, look at your face, motherfucker. It does not look the same. So for him to, and he's going to learn from this. You cannot have that mentality when you come in there. He needs to accept the worst possible outcome, and that's how you perform the best, when the pressure is the highest. And I learned that early, and it's such a crazy sport. So anything can happen any moment. You just got to bet on yourself, and tonight I bet on me, not literally, but figuratively. And
clarify.
It's just what we're doing.
Yeah. I know you don't care about betting lines, but you that have proven yourself over and over and over in this sport to be the underdog. Does that shock you? And I mean, like, what do you think it is that people continue to doubt you despite how many times you've come out here and done stuff like this?
I don't know. It's hard to explain. But if you're with me the whole time, we're fucking up. I'll tell you that right now. I'm 9-2 as an underdog. But I've said it, I don't think people understand what I'm doing in there. I've said it from before I even got to the UFC. There is a method to the madness. It looks like absolute chaos, but it's less than seconds, less than inches. And my coach taught me how to be great in those areas.
I'm sure the adrenaline's still flowing a little bit, but do you have an update on physically, like, how you feel? Like, are you going to need some time off? Is there possibly anything broken after?
I definitely need some time off. He fucking rocked my brain a couple times, and the only thing we have over the more dangerous sports, which is boxing and football, is we get to take time, and so I will do that. But the White House is in June, and I represent this country. I represented it tonight. And I hope to be, obviously, look at the position and opportunity they just gave me here. There's no way they're keeping me off that card unless I'm dead.
Last thing for me, Dana was here earlier, and he said, look, I think the unification fight is next. That Ilia won't fight anybody else. Like, do you have a message for Ilia if that's the next fight?
Can't wait. It's what I got here for. That's what we do. And, of course, that's what I believe the next fight is, unless he's not back.
Listen, given how popular Ilia is becoming, just the method of victory he's had and your style of fighting, and add those two to the White House, how big do you think that fight could be between you two?
I mean, if I had any bit of a personality, it'd be fucking huge. But I just can't. I can't lie. I can't exaggerate. It's what I do. It's who I am. It's who my parents taught me to be. But, I mean, there's no doubt it'll be the best, one of the best fights that they could definitely put on. It'll be for an undisputed belt, and I think they want to have 6 or 7, whatever. They want to have as many as possible. So if he's not back by then, they will strip him, and I will be undisputed, and then I'll fight for the belt on there and defend it.
And then just last one, given all the comments from both the media and the fans leading up to this on Fight Week, and Patty saying the stuff about how your face isn't going to look the same, and then you even coming up here saying, like, not bad for an old guy, is this the most satisfying win you've had in your career, just based on everything leading up to it and then the outcome?
Yeah, I mean, I said it on the stage last night at weigh-ins. I was like, this is the biggest fight of my life, and because it's the next one. And now it's passed, and the next one's going to be the biggest fight of my life. And that's just how this sport works. That's how I work. It's so difficult to do this because there is no making everybody happy. You're always going to piss people off. And, I read comments, and it's like, you motherfuckers. Like, I didn't even mean that. And then everyone takes everything out of context. And there's just no making everybody happy. So I'm just so happy to have the people around me that I do. And I know that I make them happy. And yeah, this is such a crazy ride. Such a crazy sport. Most exciting sport in the world. And I love it.
Justin, how close did you think you were to finishing that in the first round?
I have no idea. Can't wait to watch. I really don't. I mean, he was hurt, and I was like, what is happening? I didn't even know. I don't know. I even asked coaches, like, what did I hurt him with? I don't know what I hurt him with in the first round. He was very hurt. And I didn't recognize it until he found the fence, and reached for the fence with both hands. I was like, what the fuck is going on? But that's how fast it is. I was like, I want to finish this motherfucker right now, but I didn't want to take too many chances and put myself in bad position and get knocked out so that the world can shit on me. So it's a crazy game.
A little bit later in the first round, you had him backed against the cage. You were talking to him. I don't know if you remember.
In the first round?
Yeah, I don't remember if you remember that at all, or if you know what you said.
I don't think it was the first round. I think it might have been the fourth round. I need him in the leg. I was kneeing him hard in the leg. And he said, you need me in the nuts. And that's really the only thing I remember from the fight. I was like, come on, bro. Don't be a bitch. Stay in the fight. You're doing good.
I noticed you just used the phrase "bet on yourself." I know I think had a shirt, maybe something like that.
Yeah, it says "bet on you."
I guess what does that mean to you?
Means everything. I mean, I'm the only one that knows how hard I work. I'm the only one that can trust in the preparation. I'm the only one that understands how special my mind and body is. I know that it's going to do what it needs to do when the time comes. And I've trained it since I was a small child. I've sacrificed everything to be in this position right now. And if I'm going to bet on someone or something, it's going to be on myself, if that's an option. Especially if I'm playing DC on a golf course, I'm betting on me because he sucks.
Justin over here. Congrats on the win. I remember last year when you said on social media that you live by the sword and you die by the sword. I think tonight was another great example for that. So how does it feel to continue to do that and keep that on your chest, even at the highest level when sometimes the odds may be against you?
Yeah, it feels great. I said it before, last week in the scrums. I wish you guys could all feel what I felt tonight. The adrenaline, the pressure, because it makes me a better person. Understanding and going through that and facing my fears. There's 1,000 little quotes that you could think, but I mean, it's a crazy ride, and I'm so lucky to have the coaches I do. My wrestling coach, Ben Charrington, from when I was in college, he was my first year I showed up in 2007, was his first year being, part of the team and part of the coaching staff, and he's been on this ride with me the whole time. Luke was there when I showed up to Trevor's gym in 2010. When Shane Carwin was fighting Brock Lesnar, he would let me jump in his truck and drive me down to Trevor's gym 2 times a week. This shit has been crazy. I cannot believe I'm here and I've made it this far. And I really don't know how to explain it. I've been a fan of this sport since day one, when they were kicking each other in the balls and eye gouging each other. And it's just crazy. It's crazy to be here.
And you've
Awesome.
And you've been in there with some of the best and throughout your whole career. So when you look at Paddy, how does he compare to your past opponents? And from your experience, do you think this is a guy that we'll see competing for gold again one day?
Yeah, I mean, you have to learn these lessons. Again, his mindset going into that fight was not good. It's not how you can do. You cannot do that like this. You know, false confidence is terrible. Terrible. It'll kill you every time. And that's what he had. You know, specifically saying this was going to be the same exact fight as Chandler was crazy. And I was like, yes. Thank God he's thinking like this. I said it on the press conference. I love everything that's coming out of his mouth, because you cannot approach this sport like that. And he'll learn, and he's really good. He's got balls of steel. Can't get put to sleep, obviously. I don't know. I mean, I smoked him, and can't wait to watch it. But yeah, I mean, I told him after, stay in it, stay on it. I'm right. You're right where I was not too long ago, 7 years ago, as a matter of fact. And he'll be there soon.
Justin, right here. You are the first two-time interim champion in UFC history. You don't usually get too many second chances, but here you go to a unifier with an undefeated top 3 pound-for-pound fighter. I know he is not Khabib, but what are you taking into this fight with Ilia in terms of lessons and why you're going to make it work this time?
Just got to trust the preparation. Trust in my coaches, and trust in my skills. I'm here for a reason. I hope it's my destiny, but I don't get to write that, so we'll see.
You tied Dustin Poirier and Edson Barboza for the most fight of the nights in UFC history tonight at 10. That's
through 15 fights, and they had 30, 32, 31. So.
Yeah.
No one's been as exciting and as consistent as me ever. Again, I've watched this sport since they were gouging each other in the eyes, kicking each other in the balls, had one boxing glove on, had shoes on, and no one has been as consistent as me and as exciting. And I'm proud of that, and luckily it's just who I am, because I don't try. Coming out tonight, I'm like, that was a great fight. It was like the best fight ever. I'm like, what the fuck? Sweet. Can't wait to watch.
And it's 100K now, not 50. You got a billion now.
I love that.
Yeah. And we asked Dana in here about the stuff this week. He asked you what happened. Are you satisfied with your situation with the UFC going forward after the comments earlier this week?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy right now. I get to fight for the belt next fight. I get to get paid as a champion, and hopefully I have a good manager and he'll renegotiate my contract. So yeah, I'm very happy. It's better than losing tonight. I would not have that.
You had a lot of success with that front headlock cradle position in this fight.
I told him in the locker room, I was like, I'm gonna be in this position as much as possible, because it's perfect. Even if it's north south when he's on his back, I love being in that position. They can't wrap their legs around me. There's no submissions they can get from there, and I can still punch them. I was landing some big shots there too. I did it on Fiziev, did it on Chandler. I love being in that position. That's wrestling.
I don't think you threw a leg kick till the 4th round. Was that by design?
Yeah. I wasn't, the only reason Fiziev took me down in the first round is because he caught my kicks, and I wasn't going to allow Paddy to get an easy takedown. And he was chopping my leg up. It was coach's plan. He's like, I don't want to see kicks till 3rd round, 3rd, 4th round, until you have him moving backwards. If he's moving backwards, you can kick him. And yeah, it was a great plan.
Congrats, Justin.
Thank you.
Just right there, congrats of this huge achievement. How important is for you to represent your country? And if we put on the side the BMF title, to be the only man champion as an American in the UFC?
Very proud. I mean, honestly, what an experience, this life. I'm so happy to be from this country. I come from 2 hours east. If people have seen the movie Tombstone, 40 miles north of Tombstone is where I grew up, in the middle of the desert, and I can't imagine how happy and proud those people are tonight. But, growing up, you love to represent your mascot at your high school, and then your college mascot, and now I get to represent the United States of America, and it is so big for me, and so big for, I'm half Mexican, half German. I think it's such a melting pot, and there's so many good people in this country, and good, good things. And I love being I love being from here. I love representing. I love the fans that get behind me. They're just so. It's just very hard. Like if there was if we're in France and there's a French guy, they're all behind him. You know, I was getting booed tonight, and it's fucking crazy. I'm like, you son of a bitches. Like, I'm from this country. So it's so hard to represent this country because everyone is from somewhere, you know, and their heritage. But, you know, I'm from here. I was born in Tucson, and I love representing this country. It's huge.
And last one for me, you're talking about France. There is a huge bout next week between BSD and Dan Hooker. Can you give me your prediction on this fight for the French audience?
Ooh, I have no idea. I had Fares Ziem working with me this whole camp, and he'll be fighting these guys very soon. He's very skilled, very hungry, and he was with me for 6 weeks, the whole camp, 7 weeks, 7 weeks. Won't take my money, paid for everything himself. What an amazing dude. And yeah, he'll be there soon.
Thank you very much, guys.
Hey, Sean back here. Sorry, Justin back here. Congratulations.
I don't
Justin.
have purple hair.
Sorry, was editing. Justin, congratulations. One of the stats, being over 35 and winning a UFC title fight. Obviously, the record isn't in favor of athletes at that mark. At any point,
me and Volkanovski, and there has to be heavyweights. They fight forever.
I did want to ask this, like, at any point during camp, does that kind of creep into your mind? Like, is this going to be the night? Maybe I feel slower, maybe they feel faster, or how do you combat that at any time?
I mean, I tell myself the whole time they're going to be faster, better, stronger, so that I can work. And then I just put the preparation in, trust the process. But I will be done when I feel like my younger self would whoop my ass now. And we're not there. You know, the skills that I've gained working with my coaches over the years, the experience, those are huge factors. And I know I'm 37, but I don't feel 37. I feel great. I feel amazing. I wish I would have knocked him out. So probably lucky I didn't, because I would have done a backflip off the cage. And after those kicks, it would not have been smart. But yeah, I can, I feel great. I feel amazing. Who knows?
Going back to last year, it always seemed to be neck and neck. It was either going to be you, Patty, or Armin fighting Ilia. Then obviously the news, Ilia wasn't going to fight early this year. At any point, was it frustrating or just difficult to get that motivation, because it kind of felt like you were right there, and now you have to win one more after already going through all the battles? Was that ever difficult to have to get up for one more challenge before that opportunity?
No. I mean, I wanted it to be for a championship. This makes me a champion on paper with the UFC, so I'm very proud of what I accomplished tonight. I'm proud of the opportunity that it's gained me to fight a guy like Ilia. And this is everything I've ever wanted, this chance to write in my last chapter.
Congrats.
It's going to be special.
Hey, Justin, I hope it hasn't been asked before, but Dustin Poirier and Khabib posted messages congratulating you, and Dustin said one more for the legends, and Khabib Nurmagomedov said you have all his congratulations, you're legendary. Can you talk a little bit about the brotherhood of the old guard that keeps beating the new and lifting each other up?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're 3-1 right now. I freaking ran through the house when Dustin Poirier beat BSD. I beat Fiziev, and I just beat Patty. And Topuria took out Holloway. So I think we're 3-1 right now. I'm very proud of that. I was these young kids. It was not that long ago that everybody I fought was older than me. And now I will never fight someone older than me again, and it happened so fast. And, I mean, you just got to, for all the kids that are thinking about doing this, you got to enjoy the process, because it goes so fast. And it's such an amazing, we obviously, time goes by fast when you're having fun. And so it's been such a great ride.
Justin over here. How special is it to share this moment with Kamaru Usman? His whole family's here with you, and you guys have trained together, been through ups and downs. Like, how special is this moment?
No, it's great. I had 4 teammates in the building. Corey Sandhagen was here. Carrington Banks was here. Archie Colgan was here, and Kamaru Usman was here. And those are 4 guys that I've put in so much work, blood, sweat, their tears. But it's been great. I mean, there's nothing like having the camaraderie of guys that truly trust in you and believe in you more than you do yourself. And it's actually so much worse when my teammates fight than when I fight, when it comes to nerves and feelings. So they just all need to retire.
Congratulations, champ.
Thank you.